we've made our template that we're going to have for our cutout size, we need now to figure out how to put this on here and router. Now, obviously, this is extremely thin, and so if I were to router with this, I'd most likely rock back and forth. So we need to make a larger panel. Now, the thing is that how do you reference such an object back to back when when you're doing two different door panels, because you're obviously just going to flip this over and do this. Well, what I did was that when I first did the layout, I used these edges, these factory sections, as guidelines. And so what I've done is that when you lay this thing down in place, these guidelines here on the bottom here give me a square point. This is a 90-degree angle right here. And so this will be my reference, so that when I make a larger panel, I will just simply use these areas here as reference points for the larger panel and just simply stick it down. I've gone ahead and I have transferred out the look that I want. What I need to do next is I need to jigsaw this out. Now, I've seen installers in the past, and I've seen other people do it, where they just simply router straight off the panel. The only thing that I don't like particularly about this method is that you can have kickback real bad. Okay, now obviously when you're using the shield, it's going to give you a lot of protection, but still, I myself personally have literally obliterated half-inch, three-quarter-inch router bits by doing simply, in a short sense, stupid things with a router. And so what we're going to do is that, like I said, we'll jigsaw this out, then we'll tape it. We'll tape the entire perimeter down, and then we'll set this panel on top. With that done and stuff, I will take our router, our shield, and we'll double stick the shield down on top of this. Now, this will give us a perfectly clear view inside what we're going to have to do, because we're going to take a bottom bearing, and we're going to guide along this and cut it perfectly square, so it looks nice and clean. Next step is we need to go ahead and tape up the system here. It's pretty easy to chem tape. This is, like I said, this is from Select Products. This is a great tape for doing this kind of work. When you just want to get the tape's edge up and pull it off, go ahead and do all of it. It's kind of a tricky piece of tape. You have to kind of snap it off like this to make it work. Alright, from there, we need to go ahead and put our jig in place. Just get it close to the marks. Doesn't have to be dead on. And push down. Now, obviously, in this area here, this is going to be extremely thin and not too good for routering. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to back it up a little bit here, and this will be done with another piece of half-inch. Where I've got it laid down against it, so that when it presses against it, it'll work. It'll not move. And then take a couple of half-inch brads and staple that down. I'll do the same thing up here at the top side. Now that we have everything put together, as you can see, the shield is on. Now it's just a simple matter of routering. As you can see, nice clean cut. This will undoubtedly work out just fine. Now we just need to crack the two apart. I like my old trusty. Just snap it right up. with that done. Alright, and that's how we make our jig. This is going to be our master that we're going to do everything from here on out with. Now, the next procedure we need to do is we need to clean the panel off, prepare it for us to be routering. Again, we're going to use a smaller router to do this work. Now, I've picked out a very small bit, and the reason why that I've picked out this short bit here is that when you're routering plastic, when you're doing a bottom bearing type thing, the problem you run into is that, like here, it's going to be super thin, and so what will happen is that it'll want to chatter real bad. And so I find that using a shorter bit helps make the chattering a little bit less, but it doesn't want to feed the if it gets loose, it doesn't feed itself up and just completely tear the whole thing up. Now we're going to use our Acrosol. I love using Acrosol, especially for surfaces. I'm just going to simply clear out the area where it needs to be put on and wipe it down real well. This will help eliminate or take off any oil residues. Alright, now that I've got the tape on and it's all cleaned up, now it's just a matter of lining this up, which you need to, well, in my case, I need to watch what I'm doing. Nice and tight. Alright, I need to make sure it gets stuck everywhere. Alright, now with everything stuck on the way I need to have it, I'm going to go ahead and router. Now I'm going to do this where I'm going to router directly off this piece. One of the reasons why I'm going to do that is that it helps me in this area here, the thickness, keep it stable as I go. If I cut it all off right here, then the edge will want to fly, basically it'll resonate. So what I'm going to do is I cut here, this will be the first side I cut, and then I'll work my way back around to it. Probably starting about right here, because this is the thinnest area. Nice and thin. Oops, a little bit. There, I'll clean that up. But in other words, that's it. That's how we get it all done. Now it's just a matter of popping her off, checking before you pull it off, before you yank the piece off. You want to make sure that you did actually cut everything, because it really kind of sucks trying to stick it back on. Pull it off, and as you can see, nice, clean, cut. It's got a good line. Follows the line here. It's square on the bottom, and everything else is clean. Now we'll do the next step tomorrow on how to make the baffle structure.